Okay, we have did a little bit of chainsaw work this past Labor Day weekend, and the saw needs a cleanup. So this is a Stihl 441 Magnum. As you can see, not a huge amount of dirt and debris, but enough to do a little video on cleaning it. So it's just the before and after. I'll show you the before here, and you can see that this stuff, especially when you're cutting sappy wood, can get quite dirty. Alright, we'll take it apart, we'll clean it up, we'll sharpen the chain, and then we'll get this thing reassembled for our next use. Okay, here's the tools we're going to use. Now you don't need this many brushes for sure, but you do need a hard bristle like nylon brush, one of these, or a cut down old paintbrush you can use. If you use a metal brush, make sure it's brass. And you have two different types of wrenches here. One obviously is a short dimension, one is a longer dimension. The shorter one I find to be better for using on multiple saws, because if you have a full wrap handle, the shorter spanner wrench will get in the full wrap handle, where in some cases on different saws the longer wrench will not. So those are the tools we're going to be using. We have some degreaser we're going to use, and basically that's just going to be used to break this whatever the sappy stuff is on the leftover on the saw. Alright, that's our equipment. We probably won't use all these brushes, but I just want to give you an example. Oh, and this little putty knife or spackler is really only used to get in between the bar channel and clean out the grime in that, and I'll show you how I do that. But there's a lot of different people that show you different ways to clean that section of the bar out, the channel, and I found over the years this to work the best. It's thin enough, it's flexible enough, and it gets in there enough where when the debris comes out, there's not left behind. You can see there's a number of bars up here, and most of them are all the same dimensions and things like that, but all of them I clean that same way, and you can see here, for example, that putty knife gets in there pretty well, and we'll be able to scrape out any sap or debris that's in there. Alright, now we'll get to disassembly. Alright, so like I was saying, the two different sizes here. If you have a full wrap handle that covers the bar nuts, this longer one won't work. And some of the other saws I have, the full wrap handle does cover that. So the smaller one, you can see, will get into the area, into this area, and clear this. So sometimes these get a little worked on, especially if it's really sappy out. Alright. Alright, not too bad. And what you can see here is on this one, the chip deflector or chip guard, I think is what it's called, broke off. So I'll order another one of these things. But this is not too bad. see here, not too bad. Alright, we'll get to cleaning this and move on. Alright, first thing we do is hit it with the air and get the loose stuff off. So alright, I'll save you the rest, and because it's kind of loud with the air compressor in the air. Alright, this stuff's pretty nasty. This brush here is just, I think I got it for, it's like a golf, it's for your golf spikes. So it's got the hard nylon and a little brass on the tip. Actually works pretty good. I leave it in my chainsaw bag because you can take this little brass stuff and kind of gently go over this part. Now you'll see that I've done it before and it starts chewing away the white paint from the Stihl stuff, but you know, so there's probably a better way to do that. But here's this part. Now we have our little putty knife here, and we scrape it down and get all the extra debris stuck in there. You can see this stuff right here, how that comes out when you use a little putty knife. And yeah, I'm sure you could use any number of things, but this seems to work well. It's cheap. I leave it in the bag and it just gets used for really for this purpose only. Alright, so I've got most of it off there, and you know, chewed off some more of the white Stihl paint. But if you have an old sponge with a kind of an abrasive side to it, it seems to work to get the necessary stuff off. Now you're going to need to be very careful when you do this, because the metal here kind of rolls over, and when you go back and forth there can be slivers, metal slivers along the edge here, and that's why they have these files that will kind of get those burrs off. So if you're cleaning this really well and pushing hard, be careful to check it to make sure first that there's no burrs over there, because you'll get stuck in the finger for sure. And then I'll do one last blowout here. Make sure you clean out the oiler holes on both sides here. And then I like to blow a little bit here through here, just make sure this thing spins good. Sometimes you'll see debris kick up when you do this. Hold on, I'm trying to do it here. So you see how that should spin pretty freely like this with just the air. And of course in both directions. And maybe a dab of grease in there, but it's pretty smooth, so the tip is good. Alright, on to the next part. Okay, when you oil this thing, it doesn't take a whole lot. Sometimes it's hard to get this thing going when you don't use it a while. I could see the grease in there. Yeah, well. Alright, so I sort of spared you the cleaning of the power head portion. A couple of things I just wanted to note on this is cleaning around the clutch in these grooves area. It's good to get the debris out of there. Make sure the oiler is clean up here. And whenever you're working with this, make sure the choke is on so the carburetor is closed, just in case some air blows in there for whatever reason during your cleaning. And take a look in here. I don't imagine it's very dirty in here, but just so you guys can see a little bit of dirt here.